Right, welcome to Anton Tolui, to Dave Reed and to Sam Obaseki, and to all of you watching on the Sky Sports News YouTube channel. Now, we start with a potential signing I'm sure we'd all love to see, and one that appears to be close. Christian Eriksen's return to football and to the Premier League with Brentford. Let's speak to our reporter Paul Gilmore, who is at the club's training ground for us. Paul, how close are we to seeing Eriksen back in the Premier League?
Yes, Tom, Brentford in advanced talks over this deal for Christian Eriksen. It is close, it's not imminent, he's not in the country. In fact, he's, I think, all of the football staff and all of the usual staff, including the players, all completely off this week ahead of that winter break, of course, for Brentford. But nevertheless, negotiations go on, all parties in agreement pretty much, and this is a deal that is expected to happen, providing, of course, everything goes well with the medical. And that, of course, would cap a remarkable return to football after what we saw at the Euros so publicly. Christian Eriksen suffering that cardiac arrest in the middle of a match, and of course has been fitted with a type of pacemaker that prevented him from playing in Italy. That was when his contract was cancelled mutually with Inter Milan, and so a new adventure begins, and he closes in on a move to Brentford.
Yeah, OK, we'll just have one more question on Christian Eriksen, Paul. Given the circumstances, what sort of checks will have to be done by Brentford and the Premier League in order for Eriksen to return to action?
Yeah, Tom, this is not your average medical. Of course, clubs will, any club in this situation will want to cover themselves, and of course, for the player who has said that he has a goal of playing at the 2022 World Cup, he will have to go through all of these tests with that pacemaker fitted, of course. So yeah, this will be the bit that takes up the most time in this deal. In fact, we're not expecting this to be completed in the next 48 hours, for example. This will take some time to complete, and Brentford and all parties will take their time over it to make sure that they get it completely right. So Christian Eriksen will need to go through all sorts of tests, more so than usual. He will need to be seen by a sports cardiologist appointed by Brentford. So all of that will be going on. It's the personal terms and that side of things. That's the bit that's not a problem. Brentford won't be breaking their wage structure for Christian Eriksen. Nevertheless, you know, this will be a healthy, competitive Premier League salary, but given the background, it certainly won't be what he maybe would have commanded if he was at, you know, say previously at Tottenham or another club in the top six. So this, you know, could potentially be a really exciting signing for Brentford. Christian Eriksen, 29 years of age. He's been training alone in Switzerland and Denmark just to keep sharp and keep fit, and he really does feel that he is ready to come and play football again and make an impact, and that's why we're in this position at the moment. Thomas Frank did coach Christian Eriksen, I think, for a year back in, you know, with the Denmark under-17s. So it fits. There's a good Danish connection here, and you know, the type of football Brentford play would align itself really with what Christian Eriksen and the style of player he is. So yeah, that's the situation. We're not expecting this really imminently in the next 48 hours, but certainly all parties taking their time just to get this finalised, especially around the medical.
Paul, you are in the right place, because as you were speaking there, breaking news from Brentford is that their head coach Thomas Frank has signed a new contract up until 2025. This will be seen as great news for him and the club.
Yeah, brilliant news. I think everybody connected with Brentford will be delighted with that. The deal signed until 2025, as you say. Brian Weimer, his assistant, also signing a new contract. He took charge in 2018 with Brentford, and they have enjoyed good times, and they are well on their way to establishing themselves as a Premier League club. They have some work to do still this season, as do all of the teams down around that area of the league table. But Thomas Frank has signed the new contract. That has been announced this morning by Brentford. As I say, not here today. All of the staff all given a well-earned rest, looking forward to a week off ahead of their next fixture. But Thomas Frank has indeed signed that new contract here at Brentford.
Great stuff, Paul. Thank you. Yes, that breaking news in the last few minutes there about Thomas Frank. And Dave, I know Brentford had a little bit of a dip in form, but it seems like the fans are very, very happy with him, and this will be even more stability at a club which actually is one of the most stable in the Premier League.
Yeah, I think, Brentford fans will be absolutely delighted with this news this morning. I think, he originally was part of Dean Smith's coaching staff, wasn't he, at Brentford, and then took the top job when Dean Smith left the club to join Aston Villa. And you can't argue really with what he's achieved there, bringing them up to the Premier League and being a really refreshing part of the Premier League this season as well. I think also the manager's personality has been a real refreshing sight for football fans and Premier League fans, fans of neutral teams as well. And from a Brentford point of view, I think they'll be really pleased that this has been confirmed, it's been sorted out. And I think, I've spoken to Thomas Frank a couple of times this season, and I think he's just really enjoying testing himself against all these different sides, all these different managers in the Premier League. So they'll be delighted to get this sorted out today.
Not just promotion as well, Carabao Cup semi-final during his tenure as well. And I think, on a transfer point of view as well, he's obviously got a reputation for working with younger players before he got to Bromby, but then he got to Brentford. So, and players will want to now, as his reputation individually increases, they'll want to work with him because they'll want to get better as well. So it's going to be interesting to see. We talked about Christian Eriksen for the past few days, but it's going to be interesting to see whether now, as his sort of brand grows, I suppose, whether actually that will have an impact on the transfer market and more players want to work with Thomas Frank because of what he's done with the players to get Brentford where they are.